Hariom, good evening, a very warm welcome to all of you. Come, please, let's pray together. Sato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hariom Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, to such a divine Lord, who also has the divine names as Vasudevaha, Brihadbanuhu, together with obeisance, we offer our humble salutations and Sastanga pranams to seek His grace, His mercy, His love, His compassion, His blessings, His strength, His forgiveness. O Lord, grant us the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Vairagya, Gnana, Mumukshutva, Prapatti, only and only to understand Thy true nature as a first-hand experience in each one of us. Aparoksha Anubhuti. This is the goal and aim of our life. Please help us on this front. We also beseech in you that at the end of our lives, we reach thy heavenly abode. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of God and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 333 on the 23rd of May 2023. Shobhanakrit Nama Samvatsara Uttarayana Grishma Rutu Jyeshta Mas Shukla Paksh Chaturthi Arudra Nakshatra Shula Yoge Bhadrakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, together we all divine souls take a vow, a firm resolve in our minds that, O Lord, I know that whatever you are doing to me in my life is only for my upliftment. You want to bring in the right compassion in my life. You also want to bring in the right disinterest towards the world. I completely accept your verdict. Each and every situation, circumstance, incident happening, be it through a person, place, or an object, I take it as thy command and I completely accept it as a prasada buddhi, without complaining, without even grieving about it. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara once again. Om. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you. So now, I think we'll take a quick recap of all the yagnas we have learned so far. Now, if you see, what is this yagna? In simple terms, if an yagna is a divine act, any action done with the thought of the creator, then that becomes a divine act. Okay, so now what is this? This is just an intention. So far, till we have this knowledge of the spirituality, what were we thinking? We were thinking that we were doing. But now when you get this knowledge of the Lord and the Creator and all these intricacies of the spirituality, there you get to put the Creator in front of each and every act. So, divinizing every act. Right from the time we get up in the morning, we do actions, voluntary actions and involuntary actions. So now what we are exactly doing is, every act we are converting it into a divine act, which essentially becomes an yagna. And why it is called an yagna and why not puja? This may be the question which can normally come to anybody's mind. This was of the Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga. In those times, it was in Dwapara Yuga. In those times, yagna was the prominent way of worshipping the Lord. Now as we have puja and japa as the prominent way, in those time it was yagna. So Lord Krishna related to yagna. And now we know what an yagna is. Yagna is where you have a homa kund and there is fire and there is a person offering into the fire. He offers havis into the fire. So this is the process of yagna. So any action done with the thought of the Almighty, it transforms into an yagna. So taking this particular example, now Lord Krishna says how we can do yagnas in our day-to-day life without even having the homakund and without having even lighting the fire. That has to be only visually, it has to be understood when you are offering. So I'll tell you a technique. What I do is, as soon as you get up, then you become conscious of yourself. Till then you are in deep sleep or you are dreaming. Both are not in your control. Okay, you get up. Then when you become conscious, you say, okay, you look at your palm and you say, Karagre Vasate Lakshmi Karamadhi Saraswati Karamule Govindaha Prabhate Karadarshanam. So when you start in this way, you become aware of yourself, the world, and all that which is attached to you. Who is your spouse, who are your children, who are your relatives, your friends, your profession. Everything starts coming, the do's and the don'ts which you have to during the day, all that we have to achieve, where you have to run around, all this comes to your mind. Now here what we have to do is, the very first thing is focus on our breath and focus on your senses, and now use all these yagnas. Now Lord Krishna says, I am giving you 12 yagnas, not that you have to do all the 12. Do one or more or all if you can, but even one if you do religiously, that is good enough. So now let's take a recap. See, once we get the grip of this knowledge, then it is very easy to do. You can do easily, I can tell you all of them. Now we'll take a recap. Okay, in the first yagna, what he spoke about was verse 25. He says Daiva yagna. Daiva yagna means where you are offering yagnas to the devatas, like you offer arghya to the Surya Devata, and you offer pranams to the Bhumata. The moment you get up and you're putting your feet on the ground from your bed, you say, "Oh Bhumata, I'm putting my feet on you. I'm grateful to you for holding me." There you're offering to Bhumata. Then when you do Arghya, you're offering to Surya Devata. Then you can also pray to Vayu Devata. You are my prana. So this way, what you're doing, simple things. Just remember these people. What comes to our mind? All nonsense. What you are worried about, immediately half a dozen things they hit your mind. But once you start divinizing your thoughts, once you start divinizing your actions, then only these things come up as the first thing in the morning to you. And the first 3-5 minutes are extremely important in training your mind to become what you want it to be. You want it to be peaceful, you want it to be agitated, you want it to be disturbed. All that happens in this first 3 to 5 minutes of your waking up. If you nurture those thoughts which are disturbing you, then the whole day you will be disturbed. The same goes when you are going back to sleep. When you go to sleep, that last 3-5 minutes are extremely important. Go with those divine thoughts. Pay your gratitude. You thank them to the Sun Lord, to the Chandra Devata, to the Vayu Devata, Agni Devata. All this you go on thanking and visualize what a great life you have. There are many things to be grateful for. So this way, now what you are doing, you are offering everything, meaning you are recognizing the divine in every act. So first one is Daiva Yagna. Then as you move forward after Daiva Yagna, you come to the Brahma Gnana Yagna. Now you say, like you offer yourself. You say, oh Lord, what am I without you? It is you who put me to sleep, and it is you who are waking me up. Even if I don't want to sleep, I am up already. It is identify yourself that it is whatever I am experiencing now in this waking world, identify with the Paramatma. You are the Jivatma, which I explained to you about the reflection. Now the reflection is not true. It has come to know that this is a reflection. It is not true. Then you look up and you see that there is somebody who is of the real nature, who is standing in front of this reflection. So recognize that. That is the Paramatma. So this Jiva Brahma Aikya becomes the second yajna. Now see, it's not difficult at all. Now the third thing, Samyama Agnishu Yajna. What is the Samyama Agnishu? Now let's go to the concept of the yajna. There is fire and there is Havis. Havis is offered in the fire. Your senses always want to do something, and you with your intellect, you don't want to do that thing. Okay, this is the constant battle which goes on with everybody. So the first part, where you don't want to do something, you have controlled yourself. So that sense of control becomes the fire. Now today is my vrat, let's say Upavas Vrat, and I don't know how it happens. Maybe you all must have experienced. On that day, there is something which comes up where something interesting to eat is displayed to you. Invariably it happens. So now your senses immediately say, take it as a upvas ka nashta or something. It prompts you, but you say no, I am not going to eat. So that sense control of not eating, that becomes the fire, and that object what you wanted to eat, that becomes the Havis. So in that self-control, you have controlled the sense. Now that sense becomes the Havis and the control becomes the fire. Now the reverse of it, the next yajna, Vishaya Grahana Yajna. Now what happens is, some things we want to. You want to breathe, you want to eat, you want to smell, you want to touch. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. All these are the 5 objects of the Indriya's experience, right? So now you make the sense, which was the Havis earlier, now that becomes the fire. The control was the fire and the sense became the Havis. I am not going to do this. Now what happened? The sense became the fire and the object of experience, Vishaya Grahana, what you are experiencing, Vishaya, that becomes the Havis, which means I want to see. Whatever you are seeing, the eyes are seeing. You, with your intellectual discrimination power, I want to see all good things, I want to hear all good things. In this way, whatever you are seeing, whatever you are hearing, whatever you are tasting meaning you take it as a prasad, and your smelling meaning, yes, it is prasad again. So this way all divine things are offered, objects of experience, into the senses. Now that becomes the Vishaya Grahana Yagya, the 4th one. Then the 5th one becomes the Nirbija Samadhi Yagna, where after the senses, now he goes one step ahead, and all the actions done by the Karmendriyas. Now those Karmendriyas also are offered. Everything, I move around, I transact with my hands, even procreation, excretion, everything is act of the Karmendriya, and that is offered into the sense. whatever sense it is. Sense organ in the previous yagna, and here it is organs of action. So now, after this, in the 28th verse, now last time we heard of Dravya yagna. Now what was Dravya yagna? What we understood? Anything you do material. See, if you see right from the morning, everything is based on material only, right? Anything you want to experience, if you want to eat anything, then it is made out of some material. If you want to smell anything, it is made out of some material. So this Dravya, including, we talk of resources like money, grains, cloth, all these become, whatever you are transacting in this area, that becomes a Dravya yagna. Now we move on to verse number 28, the subsequent yagnas. What all we have to learn now. After the Dravya yagna, next comes the Tapo yagna. Now what is this Tapo yagna? In simple terms, Tapo yagna is, which we all are doing, austerity. Tapas is where there is a control. You take a vow. Now we took a vow before starting our divine course. We took a vow that we accept whatever is coming in our life. Some take a vow of silence, Mauna Vrat. So now what is happening? There is an austerity, there is a tapas. Tapas is your holding on to something. Or you may even say, okay, let me not go into complete silence, but mindfully I speak on a limited basis. What is necessary? See, I tell you, you practice this, you will save a lot of energy, and during that time your chintan can go on in your mind. Otherwise, we just keep talking. If you do that metacognition, meaning observing your mind, you will see that out of 10 sentences, probably you could have ended with 2 or 3. The 7 were all extra. So this way, that reduction of the quantum of speech, that also becomes a tapas. And some days, like say Shivratri, you say, I'm not going to sleep today. I'll be awake the whole night. Although you are feeling sleepy, but you control, tapas. And you consciously, deliberately, you are up the entire day. As you do fasting, you control your sleep. So this is an opportunity, where by doing all this, eventually what the Lord is saying is, Indriya Nigraha, Mana Indriya Nigraha, that is the root of all sadhana. So you are able to bring everything under control, not by force. Consciously you have decided, and you are practicing that. And many a times people, we go for pilgrimages, and in pilgrimages you have the luxury of going by car, and now in some places you have chopper, ropeway, all this you have. But at the same time you also have the mountain trek. Now there you sweat it out, it is painful, but still what you do is you take the difficult route. So this is again a tapas. So in this way, a person, a sadhak, he trains himself. If you observe, even brahmacharya, celibacy, that also is tapas, along with all the tapas what we discussed. In Dravya yagna, it is generally external, the difference between Dravya and Tapo yagna. But Tapo is external as well as internal. And many also take up, like external meaning what? I am going to a temple and I will do 108 pradakshina, going around the holy shrine 108 times. Or you will say, I'll do 1000 tulsi archana, 10,000 tulsi archana, or 1 lakh tulsi archana. You will say that. So now these are all yajnas again, where you are telling yourself that I'm going to do this, and you are standing by it. So this comes as the third one. So the Tapo Yagna. Now the next one is the Yoga Yagya. Patanjali Sutra, where he talks of yoga. Yoga, there are 8 steps: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. This is also one of the great forms of yagya. Now you see in Yama what all comes. In Yama you have Ahimsa. What beautiful practices these are. What a kind of refinement happens as a personality, you just think. Ahimsa and then Satyam. You are always on the side of truth. Because the metacognition, you're observing your mind and you're saying, no, here I shouldn't have said this. Why did I lie over here? Asteyam, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. Now all these are the restraints. And then the niyama, shaucha, cleanliness, santosha, keeping your mind in a pleasant mode. You have to work towards it. You will be able to do it. Meaning, allow the good thoughts only to be in your mind. Tapaha, where it is now again repeating over here, it's a part of what we just now discussed as Tapo Yagna and Swadyaya, study of the scriptures. This and then Ishvara Pranidhana, be connected with the Lord. So this way, Yama and Niyama. After this comes the Asana. You are not able to sit properly. Your body is weak, but here you train your body with proper physical exercise. You are bending your body. Like in Surya Namaskar, in Asanas, what we do is, we are basically bending our body in different postures to improve flexibility, blood supply and strengthening of the muscles and nerves of that part of the body. Which means what? You can sit in a position without being disturbed. And then comes Pranayama. In this we are going to have, there is a yagna on Pranayama, one particular shloka completely dedicated for Pranayama. And then you have Pratyahara, control of the senses. Dharana is the focus of the mind. Now you have come to a stage where you have withdrawn from all the senses, organs, sense organs and organs of action, and your mind is now stable. Let's say you want to take a picture of somebody. Imagine if your hands are shaking. The lighting is right, the backdrop is right, and they are also focused. Okay, they're not moving. Now you have to just take a good pic. For that, if your hands are shaking, it will not work. So dharana is keeping that mind stable. Then next comes, after dharana, dhyana. You are assimilating all what you want to understand. And samadhi is in after having assimilated, without dropping it, you are holding on to it, absorption. So this way, this entire knowledge of Yoga Yagna is given over here. Extremely, where Lord Krishna says, this is another branch. As we have Raja Yoga, you have a branch where using this eightfold method, one can go to the higher planes of consciousness. So that is explained over here, Yoga Yagna. As I told you, one or more or all, that is what we can do. Now, after that comes the Swadyaya Yagna. Swadyaya, like as you say, Parayana we say, meaning doing japa. Param ayanam yeshante parayanaha. Parayana helps us in reaching a desired destination. Now what is the desired destination? We surrender to the Lord and we say, oh Lord, my goal in life is to realize you. That's it. And my destination in life is to reach your abode. See, are we not saying this in our daily prayers? The beginning we are saying this. because we have to keep telling our mind again and again. Observe, where are we going? Are we going in the right direction or not? What is your goal? My goal is to realize you. What is your destination? Your abode is my destination. I have nothing else in my life. Rest are all is, they do happen. As per the prarabdha, they do happen. So this parayanam, what we call, acts as a mode of transport. Just that jap what we are doing. Thinking of the Lord. My destination is your abode. My goal is reaching you. Now let's say you have to go to a particular place. Let's say you're going to Delhi. Now you have to go to the airport or to the station, and then you have to take the right train or the flight. You have to board on time. Just you going to the airport and wandering around will not take you to Delhi. As per the prescribed time, wait for the boarding call, board the flight, and once you sit there on the flight or on the train, then that as that vehicle, meaning that flight or the train takes over, what happens? It automatically takes over to the destination. You don't have to do anything. Your job is only to sit in the right designated train or flight. Now this, in the same way, this mantra which you are using for japa, that is the mantra or even study of the scriptures, what we are studying continuously, all that becomes your vehicle to take you to the right place. Just the recitation of the name of the Lord, let's say Narayana for example, it has a great deep meaning. Naranam imami falani narani tesham ayanamesmat sa narayanaha. One who nourishes all the living beings, all the created, and finally who merges all the creatures into him is Ekam. That is Narayana. It is said in the Narayana Stuti, Adascha Narayana, Urdhvascha Narayana, Dishascha Narayana, Kalascha Narayana, Narayana Veti Idagum Sarvam. Sarvam. Direction is He, time is He, everything is He. So in this way a sadhaka, a yogi has to go inwards while doing parayana, doing this japa or study. Not just you sit in front of a text and you're just turning pages. Where is your mind? It has gone somewhere, thinking of something of the past or of the future. So quantity is not important. How many pages you have read or how many japamala you have done. No, quality. And bring in, I'll tell you one more great secret for success in connecting to the divine. Reason is paranchikani vyatrinat swayambhu, meaning you cannot understand this reality with your senses and mind. It is very clear. All the Upanishads, the Gita, the Brahma Sutra says this. Then how do I understand? Connect with that field. So whenever you are doing your jap, connect to the Lord. Take a form of the Lord. Keep seeing the form, close your eyes and keep doing jap. Visualize that jap, and as though the Lord is in front of you, keep doing that. That feel, that bhavana has to be there in you. Unless and until you have that feel, we will not be progressing. We'll only think that we're doing so much, but you will see no results. And how do you test that result aspect? Nothing should disturb you in life. That is the easiest way. Like you want to know you have fever, as you take a thermometer, you put it in your mouth and you test the temperature. Oh, 98.6. Okay, great. My temperature is normal. If it is 99, 100, you will say, oh my God, I have fever. In the same way, anything disturbs you, understand that you have still not reached where you have to reach. The journey continues. Work in progress. Make these changes. Spirituality is like, you've heard of, you go to the police station, you file an FIR. FIR, first information report. But now in spirituality, what is F? Frequency. Of what? Frequency of the disturbing thoughts or the disturbing desires, that reduces. Okay? I, intensity. Whenever something hits you, which has also hit you in the past, now that intensity is less. You will not feel it to that extent. Earlier, my God, you will be sobbing, you will be crying, you will be calling this friend, that relative, call your mom, your dad. Oh my God, my life has become this way, that way. What is this? Now, no. It hardly disturbs you. That intensity reduces. This is the second thing which you can notice in yourself. And the third thing is R. Resilience. Even though it hits you, intensity is less, but you will see that you will immediately come back. It appears normal. I tell you, in 93, if I remember right, there were the Bombay blasts here. Okay. In about 5-6 places there were huge blasts, including our stock exchange and so many other important places in Mumbai. They say Mumbai is a resilient city, meaning it gets back into action in a very short span of time. And I tell you, when I was in Masjid Bandar at that time, which was very close to the place where a bomb blast had happened, and in fact literally, although it was about 4-5 kilometers, our window panes cracked at that time. That was the impact of the bomb. Okay, so then everybody rushed, go back home. Next day morning, not even day after, next day morning the trains are packed. Everybody going back to work. Can you imagine this? That is known as resilience. Then I was shocked. I had just come to Bombay a few years ago. I realized, my God, what a city is this? He did not get scared of anything. Move on. So the same way as sadhak, something hit him. Intensity is low. Okay. Earlier he used to literally get drowned. He used to not be able to control. For hours together or for days together, that person is disturbed. But this resilience, FIR, resilience is so strong that you come back. You don't shirk away from your responsibilities. You are no more sobbing. You are no more withdrawn from the world. You come back to normalcy. So this way, a true sadhak, he understands. You have to see, where am I on this FIR? What is the degree of my frequency, my intensity and the resilience affecting me in life? So this way, by chanting that Lord's name, Parayana, he slowly starts understanding that what is the truth of this creation. So this whole, as I told you, the secret is understandingly feel. Our Gurudev Swami Chinmayanda used to say, very beautifully said, understandingly you feel and feelingly understand. It's play of words. When you are understanding something, bring that element of feeling in it. And with the element of feeling, try to understand. Don't understand without the element of feeling. Because the only way where we can connect to the Lord is by feeling. And what is feeling? Bhakti is feeling. When you have that feel, it is bhakti. And what is bhakti? Bhakti is like salt to your food, without which it doesn't make any sense. However Well, you must have prepared. If there is no salt, it is tasteless. So in the same way, your prayers, your sadhana, all that will get meaning only when we feel it. We have our emotions in it. That emotion of surrender, that emotion of togetherness with the Lord, that connectivity. You bring in all these emotions. Try, just close your eyes, and when you're doing that job, just think of the Lord. Take his photograph, a beautiful photograph, whatever you like, or an idol. Look at it, stare at it. Keep doing the job. Slowly close your eyes and visualize that form in your mind. Keep continuously doing the job. And if you feel that it fades away, again open your eyes and see it. And continue. With that feel, understandingly feel and feelingly understand. There is no use of understanding without feeling. And also there is no use of feeling also without understanding. For what are you feeling? With the understanding of your connect with the Lord. So move ahead every moment with that perusal. And keep examining, experiencing within. Initially the experience is with your senses and mind. Gradually there is no senses, there is no mind. It is only that awareness, and that is samadhi. As we move ahead, I'll teach you one of the method, how the Kashmiri Pandits, they have one special method of reaching the state of samadhi. We will understand about that in due course. Okay, so you start with the help of mind and drop the mind. And see whether there is enough, sincerely have you filled it with devotion and surrender. But once you focus on this, then the Lord alone helps you. Automatically it will happen. So the devotee knows here that as the Lord has said, Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat. He only has said, no? These are all his words, his dictum. Yasya smarana matrena. Just by his smarana, thinking about him, janma samsara bandhanat. I am out of this cycle of births and deaths. And look at this word smarana. If you think about him, meaning if you have the Lord as your smarana, it is moksha. If you remove that sa in that smarana, it becomes maranam. It is death. Even while living, you will be experiencing death. So if you forget Narayana, that itself is maranam. And if you remember, meaning smarana Narayana, that itself is moksha. We all don't understand the meaning of difficulties, worries, anxieties in life. If you understand, that is not what we need to be worried or anxious about in life. Any challenge comes, you're worried. Any situation not even come, you're anxious. Vipada naiva vipada, sampada naiva sampada. Meaning a difficulty is not a difficulty, and something good, a treasure is not a treasure. We have not understood the meaning. Vipada vismarano Vishnu. What is true difficulty in life? If you have forgotten to remember that Lord. 1 hour, I passed 1 hour, not even once I thought about that Lord. You are doing something, and after some time, which could be half an hour, 1 hour or 2 hours, you see that in this entire 1 hour, I did not think about the Lord even once. That is vipada. That is your difficulty in life. My God, what has happened? Oh Lord, why are you not giving your divine thoughts to me? That is true difficulty, not this other difficulty. My cook didn't come, my maid didn't come, my electricity, I have a problem in this connection, or these usual things. Those are not problems. Vipadas vismarano Vishnu. When you are not remembering the Lord, that is true difficulty, hurdle in life. Sampada narayano smritihi. You think sampat meaning, oh, I got more money, I got a hike in my salary, or I got lucky in something. No, this is not sampat. The true sampat in life or prosperity in life is when Narayano Smriti, again and again I am getting the thought of the Lord. Even though I don't make any efforts to remember Him, I get His thought. That is life. You have become prosperous. So the worldly things are not prosperity. If you are able to get His thought again and again, then you realize, understand for yourself that you are truly successful, you are truly prosperous in life. And your true difficulty in life is if you forget the name of the Lord. So in this way, now the Swadyaya Yagna. Sit in the right vehicle at the right time, and it will take you to your destination. That is the... And what is your right vehicle? And what is your destination? My destination is to reach the abode of the Lord. And what is your goal in life? My goal is to realize the Lord. So in this way, we, adapting all this, we transform ourselves. Now comes the Gnana Yagna. Let's understand what Gnana Yagna. So here, a subtle difference in Gnana Yagna. Like in Swadyaya, they spoke about studying of scriptures. Okay. What becomes true Gnana? You have Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Okay, 3 important phases of your study. Shravana and Manana, they become Swadyaya Yagna. So Gnana Yagna is that Nididhyasana, where you want curd, but you just have only milk, but you want curd. So that curd, it finally turning into, that milk turning into curd, that happens by that constant mananam. And eventually you will see a stage where you have reached that stage of absorption. That Nididhyasana. You may read any number of texts, all that is Swadhyaya. Shravana, Manana you are doing, but if you have not assimilated it, if you have not absorbed it, then it has got no meaning at all. You have to come to a stage where I am Jnananishta or Brahmanishta. I truly understand initially. Understanding is again at the Manana stage. I am experiencing it. What is true understanding? Experiencing. See, if somebody says sorry to you, what do you say? Arey what, he just said sorry and went. He doesn't mean it. How do we say that? Yeah, he said in the normal way, with his using his vocal cords, his power of speech, he said, I'm sorry. But if that same person, he says sorry to you and he has tears in his eyes, then what do you say? He meant what he said. Don't we say this? If somebody is telling you something nice, they are thanking you. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. That is Shravana Manana. But if it has to be Nididhyasana, it has to be connected with that feel, that emotion. That person is thanking you with tears in his eyes. That means he is truly thanking you. There you can't doubt that. So that Gnana Nishta, Brahma Nishta, that happens when there is that connect. So that's why I'm again and again telling you, any jap you do, any puja you do, any understanding of any text, bring in that feel, because this knowledge cannot be understood by your mind or senses. As simple as that. So if we reach that stage from the yagnas, you see how you're progressing. After the Swadyaya, now comes the Gnana Yagna. You have reached that stage of Nididhyasana, assimilating and absorbing. When you absorb, you become a Brahmanishta, and slowly that knowledge is in you established. You become a Jivan Mukta. This is the beauty of what Lord is trying to tell us over here. And openly, as I told you, it is openly available, but nobody wants to understand this. With this kind of a knowledge, deeply embedded, that the Lord Himself is present everywhere outside where I can see and understand with all my senses of perception, and He is the one who is residing in everybody. Don't make it as a cliche. We have heard it right from our childhood. Lord resides in everybody. He is in omnipresent, omnipotent. These are all cliche. Again and again we have heard, and it makes no sense. But you have to literally bring it as your experience. Kunti Devi, after the incarnation of Yudhishthira, after he won the battle and he was coronated as the king, as the Chakravarti, Mahachakravarti, then Sri Krishna was bidding farewell. He now says, okay, my job is done now. I have to go back to my country, my place. He comes to his Boa, Kunti Devi, and he says, Boa, I take your leave, and if you want anything, please ask me. Then Kunti Devi says, Vipadas santuta shashvata tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyad apunar bhava darshanam. She says, oh Krishna, I wish that these calamities, these problems, whatever we were facing, that vipat, what we call, let it come again and again. My God, you're not enough, you're not done in your life with these problems yet. All along you have seen problems in life, and you're again and again asking you, give me those problems. He says, why? So that we could see you again and again. I know when I have problems, you are there for me. And for seeing you again and again means that you will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Because again and again you are seeing Lord Krishna. So she said, give me problems. No, she's asking the Lord, can you ask me something, what you want? I'm leaving now. This is what she asks. Vipadas santuta shashvata tatra tatra jagat guru. Otherwise, having good things, only good things are happening in life, your mind tends to move out. You move towards the world. Now, she is considered one of the Panchakanya, Kunti Devi. Out of the 5 iconic women in mythology, she is one. Ahalya, one. Draupadi was second. Third, Kunti. It's not in order of importance. These are the 3. Ahalya, Draupadi, Kunti Devi, Tara, Mandodari. See, Draupadi and Kunti are from Mahabharata. Ahalya, Tara and Mandodari are from Ramayana, the Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga. So these were the 5 iconic, ideal, most ideal women in this creation. Now she is saying, give me trouble. I don't want my mind to rejoice and get back into the world. I just want to see you again and again. That is true Gnana. Are we understanding this here? That is true Gnana. Otherwise you will be lost in this world. Now he says, I don't want all this. Oh Krishna, you keep it for yourself. Give me trouble so that I can be established in you. So this is something so great. Okay, now we didn't read the shloka today. Let us read the shloka 28th verse, and then we'll read the 29th, and we'll see how much ever we can cover on 29th. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Dravya yagnas tapo yagna yoga yagnas tatha pare Swadyaya Gnana yagnascha yatah samshita vrataha. Now you got it? We completed all the yagnas here. Now we move to the next yagna. 29. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Apane Juhvate Pranam Pranopanam Tatha Pare Pranapanagate Srudva Pranayama Parayanaha. So here Lord Krishna has dedicated one complete verse towards pranayama. Prana. Now let's understand what this means. This is extremely important for all of us, what is told over here. This is something which we all are struggling in our life. What is that? Not able to focus, not able to concentrate. Okay, so how you can develop concentration in life? With the help of pranayama. And it is technically spoken. It's not that spoken here. It's not that you just follow pranayama. First, let's understand why this pranayama has to be done, how it is related. Okay, and then we can. Once we are convinced about the concept, then what happens is accepting it becomes easy, because the mind now is convinced. Till the mind is not convinced, we are always into a trouble. Okay, now if you see in pranayama, why so much of importance has been given for this? The control of the vital force in us, which is the breath. Now you are bringing this breath into the right control. What is exactly happening over here? And how does this become? First, let's understand how pranayama becomes a yagna. Okay, very simple. We breathe out and then we breathe in. After breathe in, there is a breathe out. So the Lord says, when you are breathing out, that becomes the fire, and offer the when you breathe out, so that breath becomes the havis, and when you breathe in, you are offering that havis into the breathe in, and the same is the reverse when it goes out. So that same breathe in and breathe out become the havis and the fire alternatively. Just that simple thought in the morning. You are breathing continuously. Say, oh Lord, all my day breathing is a yagna. I am offering the breath into that inhalation of what I do, that is the fire, in which the exhaled breath I am taking in as a havis, and what I have already taken is in as havis. Now that becomes the havis to the fire which I breathe out. So this incoming and outgoing, now that becomes a pranayama. And now let's understand what is the importance of this pranayama. We know how this can be divinized by an yagna, but now how does it help us in our sadhana? Like as we said, control of senses, control of organs of action, Swadyaya, each and everything has got an importance in your life. So in the same way, prana literally means life. And where is prana? In the subtle body. Subtle body means sukshma sharira. Now till now, asana and all that what you are doing are to the physical body, which is the annamaya kosha. After annamaya kosha comes pranamaya kosha. And beyond pranamaya kosha you have manomaya kosha, and thereafter vijnanamaya, and then you also have anandamaya kosha, and the one who is observing all the five koshas, you are the Atman. But unfortunately you have considered yourself to be that aham bhava which is a part of the manomaya kosha. Okay, now with this knowledge we are slowly understanding that I am not this aham bhava or the ahankara which is a part of the mind, but I am beyond that, which is giving awareness to all this. Okay, this we all know. Now what happens is, once we, in a normal course, once we bring the physical body under control, you sit down, you relax your body, you relax your, we say no, relax your forehead, keep your head, neck and spine straight, all that what we do at the body level, annamaya kosha, we have settled it. Now we're talking about meditation. Okay, then you sit for meditation. What happens if you have just settled your body and you directly jump into meditation? What has happened is, there is one process in between. After annamaya and meditation means manomaya, there is pranamaya kosha. Now pranamaya kosha is oscillating here. You have not done anything for the pranamaya kosha. That's the only reason people say when I sit for meditation, I get more thoughts, more disturbing thoughts. In fact, the same was said in the 6th chapter where Lord Arjuna to Lord Krishna, he says, Yogas tvaya prokta samyena Madhusudana. He says, what is this Madhusudana? My mind is so turbulent. Now, there Lord Krishna tells him about pranayama. He says, see, between the body and the mind, you have the prana. Between body annamaya kosha, between the mind manomaya kosha, you have the pranamaya kosha. So prana is what? Movement of by breath. You inhale, exhale. That's all what we can see. But this prana does 5 more physiological functions. Physiological means which are happening within your body, which you cannot see. That's why it comes under subtle body. You can only experience the breath going in and going out. But it does prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. 5 important physiological functions. And how important is this prana? Let's say you're going in a vehicle, okay, in your car or a bus or whatever vehicle you're going on the road. Now, you, the person who is sitting in the vehicle, think that you are the mind, and prana you compare it to a vehicle. Now, if the vehicle is bumpy, for whatever reason, if it is bumpy, then naturally what happens? You who is sitting in the vehicle, you also start shaking. Many a times, you know what you do, you're talking to somebody on the phone, suddenly there is a bumpy road and the other person is saying, why are you gasping for breath? You say, I'm not gasping for breath, here I'm jumping in the vehicle, isn't it? But when the vehicle is going smooth, then you are also smooth, which means when the mind is smooth, sorry, the prana is smooth, which is the vehicle. You who is sitting in that vehicle, the mind, you also enjoy the ride, a smooth ride. Now to control the mind is extremely difficult. You need something which is connected to the mind. And easier to control, what is that now? To control the mind, the breath is connected to the mind, and that's how we need to first regulate the breath. How do we understand this? Just look for yourself. When the mind is restless, the breath is also restless, meaning it is very short and uneven. You observe for yourself. Okay, when the mind is dull and sleepy, the breath automatically becomes heavy. Observe this. When you are sick, the breath is heavy. When your mind is excited, breath is very fast. When you are angry, the breath is fast. So this indicates that based on your mind, there are some repercussions happening on the breath, which in other words means observing your breath, you can know what is the nature of your mind also in the other way. So if you calm your breath, then what happens is the mind also becomes calm. You will see that when the breath is calm in both the nostrils, your mind is absolutely in a state of calmness. And what else you can observe? There is no sound at all. Otherwise it was heavy, it was rapid. Here it is very light breath, deep breath. So effortlessly you have a deep and light breath. Now, which means your mind is calm, serene and sound. So the reverse is also true. If you have an excited mind, you can control by controlling the breath. You can make it even rhythmic. The excited mind will calm down, the sleepy mind also will become alert. If your mind is disturbed, control your breath, the excited mind will calm down. And you say now you get up, you're not too fresh. I'll just tell you now, I'll be teaching you the technique of pranayama. You do that pranayama. In that 3, 4 or 5 minutes, you'll suddenly feel a wave of freshness entered your mind. And immediately you want to, after you have done that pranayama, you can do your jap, you can do your meditation, and you are fresh to face the morning. So in fact, pranayama is a very big subject, as we all know, and several yogis and hatha yogis, they have developed it to a great extent. One more aspect I would like to say is, during pujas, have you noticed? There's one sentence the Purohitji Panditji uses, pranayama, he says, and they just tell you to hold your nostril and remove the finger. That's it. You didn't do pranayama at all. Rituals have this pranayama because you are sitting for a puja. You need your focus on what you are doing. But today's world, nobody does that. So actual puja also starts with pranayama, but it is not practiced in the right sense. So now what is this pranayama? What are the stages in this pranayama? How to do pranayama? All that we learn in the next session. We'll deeply understand this because this is helpful for our nididhyasan, Swadyaya, Yagna, Shravana and Manana. Okay, you're reading, you're understanding, questioning, thinking and getting all the facts in the right sense. But eventually you need to absorb that, which is nididhyasana stage, the Gnana yoga. After the Swadhyaya yoga, you need the Gnana yoga, and in that Gnana yoga you need to keep this, your vehicle, which is you in that as mind, traveling in a vehicle which is that prana, you need a smooth ride on that vehicle. So how to do that, we will understand the technique of it. Is a 1:4:2 is the technique. 1 is breathe in, 4 is hold, and 2 is breathe out. Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka. All this we'll understand in our next class. Come. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So now we study two divine names, Shloka 36 of the Vishnu Sahasranama. First, let's read the Shlok. स्कन्दस्कन्दधरो दुर्यो वरदो वायुवाहनः वासुदेवो बृहद्भानुरादिदेवः पुरन्दरः. Vasudevah 332. One who is at once both Vasu and Deva. Vasu means one who dwells in the physical equipments of all living creatures as its indweller. Indweller, who is that indweller? Jiva. Deva means one who reveals or one who illumines. So thus Vasudeva means one who lives in the physical equipment as the Jiva, as though conditioned by them, and yet who is the vital consciousness in the light of which every experience is illumined. The Lord is the one who dwells in all things of the universe, and he is at once the supporter of the entire world. Also, directly it can be taken to mean one who is born as the son of Sri Vasudeva in the jail of Kamsa, the blue boy of Brindavana. He is called Vasu, and he veils himself with his own Maya. Deva means he who sports, wishes to conquer, conducts, shines, creates, and moves. In the Udyoga Parva of Mahabharata, we read, like the sun with his rays, I am covering, meaning the Deva, in all beings, and hence I am called Vasudeva. This is in the Udyoga Parva of Mahabharata. Now the Vishnu Purana says, as he resides everywhere in and through all things, he is termed as Vasudeva. All beings remain in the Supreme, and he is all being, and hence the omnipresent is called the Vasudeva. 333. What a beautiful coincidence. On our 333rd discourse, we have the Vishnu Sahasranama number 333. Brihat Bhanuho. Possessed of endless rays, meaning one who illumines the world with the rays of the sun and the moon. Mahabharata says, he whose great rays are in the sun, moon, and others, and he who illumines the universe through them is called the possessor of great rays. To such a divine Lord, Bruhad Bhanuho and Vasudevaha, we offer our humble salutations and seek his divine grace, mercy, and blessings. Om Tat Sat. Now, We'll read the Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. Without good health, without a sound body, there is no sound mind. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. To the Lord of Dhanvantari, we offer our humble salutations and seek His grace, mercy, blessings. Okay, now we do our meditation. Sit comfortably. First is the body level Annamaya Kosha. Make your body comfortable. If there's any discomfort in any part of the body, bring it to a state of comfort. If you need to get up and walk a bit and sit down, please do that. After we have comforted our body, sitting erect, head, neck and spine in a straight line, we relax our forehead, our face, relax your neck, your shoulders, and your entire body. Now from Annamaya Kosha we come to Pranamaya Kosha. Let's take a few deep breaths, as deep as you can. Inhale and exhale as deep as you can. Now, let's observe our mind. Now you know that you are not the Annamaya, not the Pranamaya, not the Manomaya. In Manomaya you have Mana Buddhi, Mana Ahankara is also in Manomaya. You are not that. You are not Buddhi, which is Vijnanamaya, and neither you are Anandamaya. You are the one who is witnessing all these five. So you are that witness, observing the mind and the thoughts in the mind. Be a silent observer without being judgmental. You're paying no heed to the thoughts, and you see that the thoughts just move away. Being completely unattached to the thoughts. Just like you see the birds in the sky, the traffic on the road, the clouds above you, the trees swaying around you. Same way, observe your thoughts. You are not the thoughts. And the thoughts are not you. You are just a witness of the thoughts. Practice this meditation as much as you can, as it prepares you to go to the next level. Now slowly observe your breath. Observe the inhalation and exhalation. Slowly become aware of yourself. Become aware of that I factor in you. And know that you are different from that I. That I is just a batch number, a serial number, a roll number given to you. The roll number is different and you are different. Having become aware of that I in you, become aware of the surroundings. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hariom Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Rub your palm. Place them on your eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Together with obeisance. Naham Karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Prityartham. Together we offer today's Gita Gnana Yagna at the lotus feet of the Lord and seek His grace, mercy, and blessing. Whenever we say something, please feel it as we learnt it today. Start this aspect of feel in every action what we do and see how wonders happen in your life. With that feeling of gratitude, thankfulness, surrender, prapatti, that devotion, bhakti, visualize the grace flowing towards you and visualize the miracles happening in your life.